Well, hello, my name is Jim Royal. Thanks for watching my video channel and my videos. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan and Beatle fan, and there will be more videos on both those artists. Well, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to give a recommendation on two relatively newer Elvis Presley releases. The first one is called If I Can Dream. This came out October 2015. It has sold well over 1.5 million copies. In fact, 1 million copies in the UK alone. And then the next one, this came out the following year, October of 2016, and this has sold so far over 750,000 copies. Both of these have been #1 hits in England. In fact, I think Elvis, the only artist that has had more #1s on their charts are the Beatles. But this one was interesting because both of these have made Billboard classical #1 list, each album. And I guess the question would be, is Elvis Presley on the classical music charts? How could that be? Well, here's what happened. Both of these have been, they have new orchestrations, so they have new backing music that has been specifically recorded for them by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Really amazing. They retain the existing masters from before, okay? They don't lose that, but what they have is they have this new orchestra that accompanies each song, which is amazing. Priscilla Presley is the executive producer on both of these, and what she said is, she says why she wanted to do this is she wanted to keep Elvis relevant to today. She says our culture and everything is changing so much, and she says that this is what she wanted to do. She says Elvis would have wanted this. Elvis would have done this at some point. She said maybe, his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, probably wouldn't have wanted it. The label probably wouldn't have wanted it. But this is what Elvis would have done eventually in his life. The thing I like about both of these two is the fact that when you listen to them, that if anything, these recordings make them larger than life. Okay, larger. I like Suspicious Minds is one of the songs on here. Okay, and you listen to the regular version, it sounds great. It's a great rocker. Well, you listen to the orchestration version, it retains the backing music, but it has this lush, enriched sound that this orchestra seems to do for it. The orchestra backgrounds by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra were recorded at Abbey Road Studios, and that's in London, England. That's also where the Beatles recorded most of their songs. So there's a rich history with that. I'm going to name a few of the songs for you. You have Burning Love, It's Now or Never on the first one. You have Love Me Tender. You have a duet here with Michael Bublé, Fever. Bridge Over Troubled Waters. You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Can't Help Falling in Love. In the Ghetto. If I Can Dream. Now there's also lesser known songs on here too. It's not like, alright, well let's just grab all the big hits of all, that Elvis did and just package them and, people, will buy them. No, what they are, they're like albums by themselves, which is also great. You have a song called Steamroller Blues on here, which I think was only a live version that Elvis did. A lesser known song from James Taylor when he was starting out in his career. Okay, wonderful job, and you can't even tell it's live. That's the thing that I like about it too. This one, The Wonder of You. Some of the songs on here: A Big Hunk of Love, Suspicious Minds, Don't. Let's see, Love Letters, that would be familiar to most people. Kentucky Rain, Memories, Always on My Mind, The Wonder of You. And it does have a duet on here too called Just Pretend by Helen Fisher. Helen Fisher is a German artist, contemporary German artist. Sounds wonderful. And I listened to that on the radio the other day. I couldn't believe how good it sounded. I really couldn't. Now, if you don't want to hear Elvis doing a duet, you can also listen to Just Pretend, earlier in the album. It comes as a bonus track on here with the duet. I would highly recommend both these albums. And I wanted to say, someone like Tony Bennett, for example, okay? Tony Bennett has reinvented himself. Tony Bennett, the man who brought us I Left My Heart in San Francisco, was really popular. Well, he had a resurgence and has in his career, because what he's known to do is he's continuing doing what works with him. American standards, the songs that he has done. He's done duets with other artists, which continue to sell and are very popular, especially at Christmas time. What I like is that Priscilla said Elvis liked orchestra. She liked classical music. I'm sorry, he liked opera. And he would have loved to have done this. She said, just like I said earlier, this is something that Elvis would have done. And even if you're not a huge Elvis Presley fan, what I like about this is it sounds to, today what people are doing. And it's rich, it brings it alive. And Elvis sounds really good. Now, when I had first heard about this, I had heard that Elvis, that what they did is what I heard is they took alternate takes of his, and then they put an orchestra in the background. Well, that's not true. That was misinformation. They took the masters, and then they did that. And, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Elvis, like many other artists, he liked to record live with his band. So he would do his vocals with the rest of the group. Now, there might be some overdubs later, maybe guitar tracks or maybe some backing vocals. But Elvis, liked to do it. And based on what I've heard with his takes, they would try to nail it on take one. If they got it on take one, they're done with it. And then they move on to the next song. So each song is attempted, each take is like, hey, this is the finished. There's a song on here I wanted to bring up, I Just Can't Help Believin', and on The Wonder of You. And what I like about it is it was a live song from That's the Way It Is, from 1970. And it seems that, when I loved this song when it first came out, when I first got into Elvis. Except he makes a mistake at the beginning, and I'm like, oh man, this is such a great song, and it was a live recording, and he flubs a line at the beginning. I think he's laughing at the beginning. Well, they cleaned it up. You can't even tell. First of all, you can't even tell that there's an audience there. It sounds like Elvis is in the studio. It sounds like he could be at Abbey Road recording this album. And that's why I can't say enough how good these Elvis Presley releases are. I know they release a lot of different stuff. This is not only for Elvis Presley fans, this is people who appreciate easily listening music of all ages. And what I like about it is, they do he does lesser known songs on here, Starting Today and Just Pretend. This is almost, both of these are like lost Elvis records, but they're kind of their own thing. You've got some hits on them to attract people, or just to say, oh, this is another way of listening to this song. And then they've got lesser known songs. A lot of this album was recorded like 69, 71, so it's kind of that period. And this one's kind of all over. So my recommendation, I can't say it enough, pick up both of them. I really hope that they do have a trilogy. I hope they have another one released sometime in the future. So thank you very much for watching my video, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye.